Hello.
Guys,
What is
happy Tuesday.
Happy Theme Park Tuesday, everyone?
It's our day. Tuesday.
Yay. We are back, and thank you all for joining our new episode of Theme Park Today. Theme Park Today Tuesday.
I like that. TPTT.
Oh,
Oh,
Well, thanks everyone for joining. If you're here, say hi in the live chat. We could be chatting with you all night. We have a very fun and exciting episode in store for you. We're going to be talking about Universal around the globe, the history of some of the amazing Universal parks, and maybe some HHN action in there.
Crystal, I love your Universal Studios Hollywood t-shirt.
Oh, yes, that brings up a very good point, Kurt, because today is actually our 1 year anniversary of Theme Park Today.
Yay!
Woo! We didn't plan this. That's so smart. I love this.
I
We
know.
did plan this.
A
is-
little bit.
Completely planned activities.
Yes, the podcast is, but we didn't plan it to be a 1-year stream. We should have. Whatever. Still exciting. Oh, I'm sorry, Kurt. Jesus.
Yes,
Catching
we did.
the vibe. Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
I know. It is funny how it fell because 1 year ago today, we were running all over Universal Hollywood together.
Yeah.
And we started
All over the park.
We're all over the park. And we started Theme Park today. And now 1 year later, we're virtually together.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been together at heart ever since.
You guys, look at the new action unlocked. That was amazing.
Love that.
Wow, that's so exciting though. I can't believe it's been a year of us as a company and Theme Park Today. We've done really exciting things.
Yeah, it's wild. If it was actually planned, we would probably have like a rundown of what we've done in this last year, but
Yeah.
it really wasn't. So
If you want to check out the fun, follow us on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Head to our website, themeparktoday.com. We're posting a lot of really cool articles. We just updated our Halloween Horror Nights First Timers guide.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're visiting for the first time, you could check that out. But it's been such a fun year, and I'm so happy to have this fun community with you guys.
Yeah, me too.
same.
Woo!
Woo. Let's go.
Let's go. Hi, Peter. Hi, Penelope.
Peter. Hi, Penelope.
And we are going to start off. We have some really big news in the Universal Orlando world, and that is the world of Epic Universe.
Crystal, you're so cool. That is the coolest thing ever.
I had this on a table, and I am using the table for my computer stand. So I figured it would be a good time to show
I have to show it off. Look at that.
is the portal to Epic Universe. If you aren't familiar, Universal is opening a brand new park in 2025 called Epic Universe. And this, like the Arch, the Islands of Adventure Tower, any big opening to a theme park, this is what is going to be at the front of Epic Universe. You're going to walk through this and enter the park. It's going to be a massive and epic entrance for sure. But here they have medallions for each of the Epic Universe worlds. So as you can see, it's officially full, and that means we have all details for each world of Epic Universe. So that is our Theme Park Today News Minute, all about the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic.
I'm so excited.
Looks interesting.
I'm interested.
It
I'm
looks
excited because
interesting.
like Harry Potter's my favorite land in like all Universal parks, but I'm interested to see. I mean, I don't know if you're going to talk about this, Crystal. I think like my one thing about this is like, how are they going to like gap the time frame from Paris to the Ministry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yes. And I think that's going to be all the Ministry. It's going to be just the ride.
Okay.
Yeah.
An attraction is going to be the Ministry. And I feel like they're going to do something really cool with, they call it the Metro Flu. So you're going to take a form of flu powder to the Ministry in some capacity. I don't know. The metro kind of seems like a train or a tram to me. So maybe that will be the cue to go into the attraction. So
Interesting.
this is one of the worlds of Epic Universe. You'll walk through this portal and go into the wizarding world of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic. It's going to be in a wizarding Paris in the 1920s. And this is from, of course, Fantastic Beasts. Guests will be able to explore the area and have fun with their interactive wands, magical encounters, a ride, a show. As you can see, this is what the land is going to look like here. There's going to be a bunch of different dining options. The main attraction, and I do think that this is going to be the best ride in Epic Universe. I don't know about you guys, but Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts is one of my favorite rides.
Good.
And of course, Hagrid's at Forbidden Journey. I mean, those are just like world-class attractions.
Yeah, I feel like every Wizarding World ride that has opened, like since the previous one, it's just gotten better.
Oh yeah. I'm interested because Universal has heard us when we've said we're done with screens, right? Like they know, they make jokes about it now. So I know this ride is going to have to use screens, but I'm interested of how they're going to make it still fun.
Right. So this ride is Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. You'll travel by Metroflux, as I just said, to the British Ministry of Magic for the trial of Dolores Umbridge, which I can't stand her in the movie. She makes me so mad. As you could see her picture up in there.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have these omnidirectional lifts. I think I have a picture right here. So it's going to be like you're in an elevator and you're going to really take off and you're going to travel through the Ministry and you're going to have to capture her as she tries to escape during her trial. There will be some screens, but there are also going to be some amazing animatronics, and you'll have to help Harry, Ron, Hermione, and a house elf dodge Death Eaters. So I think that means we're going to get, as you can see in the bottom right of this picture, a really cool Death Eater animatronic.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. That is really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited for this. I'm a little worried about the motion sickness level.
Yeah.
I hope it's on a track and not on an arm like Forbidden Journey is.
Because the Dark Universe ride is the same, pretty much the same ride system as Forbidden Journey with that arm.
Mm-hmm.
So makes me a little nervous.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
But I think the incorporation of animatronics instead of the screens is going to.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like Escape from Gringotts, because it is on a track.
Yes.
Yeah. And the screens aren't too bad on that one.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we also are going to have a live show in this world. And I just want to say there is a 0% chance I'm going to pronounce any of. No way. I am not French. I'm an Italian American. So far off from me, but this is a live theater show. Features performers, puppetry, and special effects. And I think this is going to be really cool. It's the first live Harry Potter show that we're going to have in any of the Universal parks. There's going to be a live show over in How to Train Your Dragon area as well, that they do already have in Japan, I believe. And they have really, really cool stuff over there. So,
is it like the puppeteering show?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. So I think they're going to do a really great job with this. There's going to be shopping, of course, interactive wands. The draw here is the interactive wands will be in a fun 3-sided box.
Ooh.
Friend from Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade. And you'll be able to interact with magical, fantastic beasts.
That's
Will be very cute. There'll be dining options. Here are the ones that I will not be able to pronounce. Café La Air de la Serene. No chance.
Nailed it.
No chance of ever pronouncing that correctly. French-inspired cuisine with a focus on architecture and art. Sounds pretty cool. And no way.
This one looks fun. I'm going to try and say.
There's a dark, mysterious inn serving hearty meals in a setting frequent by dark witches and wizards. And then we're gonna have butterbeer, and they put like a very fancy way of saying butterbeer. I'm just gonna call it butterbeer.
Rubbery.
Like, no way. My friend French, and I texted her. I was like, "You're gonna need to give me a lesson before this world opens, because there is just no way I know what anything says." Yeah,
I think you did a phenomenal job.
Great, Crystal.
thank you so much. If it was like an Italian-inspired land, then like a little easier.
New York, in Universal Studio.
Universal. There also will be some romance around, which is fun. We haven't seen that in the Universal parks yet for the Wizarding World, and I'm really excited. Let us know in the chat what you are most excited for in this Wizarding World. Peter said, "I hope there's a bunch of yummy French pastries." Yes, same.
They better bring it.
Concerned with the motion sickness.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be great. And that is the Theme Park Today News Minute.
Before you go on, give me 1 second. I didn't want to interrupt you, Crystal. There's blowing over here, and I didn't want to just get up and leave.
Good.
Sorry, guys. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so the Wizarding World land, though, after seeing that, so they kind of teased what the Toothless show is going to look like, right?
Yeah.
And the props that they use in that show to make it look realistic, I have so much hope for the Fantastic Beasts show. I am so excited for it.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Truly, I think it's going to be like, I think their Universal is like pulling out all the stops for Epic Universe, and I think it's going to be like mind-blowing. So
just seeing their advancements in Diagon Alley, what they did, and Hagrid's and the Velocicoaster, you can imagine that plus a few years now that's been around. So the advance from Diagon Alley especially to the Wizarding World land is gonna be mind-blowing.
Yeah, or even like the technology that they have used and implemented at Universal Beijing, I think it is, with that Jurassic ride where the dinosaur is like chasing your car.
Mm-hmm.
Insane. Like I cannot wait for them to hopefully go all out and like not make me sick in a way that doesn't make me want to throw up.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Cool.
Right, over to you.
Yeah, welcome to history class again, everybody.
Hello.
Okay, so obviously we're talking about Universal. So I originally was just going to talk about Universal Studios Hollywood, since that is where everything really began for Universal as a company and as a theme park. But on my own little deep dive, I kind of just veered from that and went into talking about all of the parks. So we're just going to get like a little breakdown of like the history of Universal theme parks. But like I mentioned, the Universal Studios Hollywood was actually the very first Universal theme park. It originally opened as a film studio in 1912. And then in 1915, the founder, Carl Laemmle, I believe is how you pronounce his last name, he opened the lot to the public to give studio tours as kind of like a zoo, with all the animals kept on the lot for filming. And get this, for a whopping 5 cents. 5 cents. That included lunch. Tickets literally at Universal Hollywood are now minimum $125, not including lunch.
No lunch.
Like that is just like,
whoa.
That is just like bonkers to me.
That's
to
wild.
Think about paying 5 cents. And like, I don't know what the conversion is of like what 5 cents is like then versus now, but I know it's not $125.
No, God, I would hope not.
Wow. Yeah, so I mean, anyway, so then in 1930, they had to stop the tours because movies were being made with sound, and they weren't silent films anymore, and none of the studios were actually soundproof, which is also honestly wild to think about, like that they didn't have to worry about sound. Like that's just like a wild concept, right? Like
it's
A Quiet
so
Place would have like soared in 1928.
That's wild.
Yeah, so then fast forward to 1964, when the Modern Tour was established to create a series of dressing room walkthroughs, peeks at actual production, and later staged events. The tour is actually still ongoing and is known as the Backlot Studio Tour now, and it has performances of 4D movie experiences and much more. On the previous slide that Crystal just had up was the Warlord Tower, which was like the first actual attraction. I couldn't find out what it actually was anywhere, so that's a mystery to everyone on Earth. And
anyone alive?
yeah, so that whole area that you actually see on your screen is right now where the Wizarding World of Harry Potter is. So this was torn down. What it would be hilarious if it was like Hogwarts. Like they use the tower to like build Hogwarts. But yeah, so that's right now where the Wizarding World of Harry Potter exists. So it's cool that there's like so much history on new IP in the park.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then things really took a turn for Universal as a theme park in 1976 when Universal started introducing IP into the parks. And the first ever IP to enter Universal Studios Hollywood was Jaws the Ride. And it's cool because you can still see it on the tour. It's actually in the same spot. It's just massively updated. Look at those chompers.
Maybe
Look at
I
his
have
teeth.
a memory of Jaws.
He's scary now. He scared the ever-living daylights out of me.
I mean, okay, honestly, but this jumping out of the water might scare me more. It's like this was this week's jump scare photo for me.
Kurt brings the jump scares.
Yeah, I have to every week. The history is terrifying. So yeah, like I said, this was the first IP to enter Universal theme park, and then it made its way over to Universal Orlando. And like I said, you can actually still see this whole experience today on the Backlot Tour, which I think is really cool. But the success around this, I think, really changed the theme park game in general. It wasn't as much as like, I feel like a lot of theme parks, Disney, started then getting away from like original stuff, right? And started really leaning into IP things, especially now.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so this was kind of like the lead in for that. And then starting in 1991, the park introduced movies like E.T., Jurassic Park, and a Flintstone show. Along with the success of Nickelodeon, they added a bunch of Nickelodeon themed areas to the park. And that really ramped up attendance, which then inspired the opening of the Orlando Park in June of 1990 to compete with Walt Disney's success in the area with Walt Disney World. And then in 1999, they opened Islands of Adventure, and then Volcano Bay was opened in 2017, which is wild. I feel like I don't remember Volcano Bay opening, and I was very much an adult at that point.
It feels like it's been open forever, doesn't it? Like it's just always been open. That's how it feels to me.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember it being open that feels like recent history, right?
Yeah. Oh, just wait. It gets even more weird as I go through the parks that are opening.
Okay.
But yeah, so then the last installment, as Crystal was just mentioning, is going to be the fourth gate at Universal Orlando, which is going to be Epic Universe, and that's going to open in 2025, which we will definitely go to. So then on March 31st, 2001, Universal opened its very first park in Asia with Universal Studios Japan in Osaka. It actually shattered worldwide theme park attendance records in its very first year open, with over 11 million guests visiting the park in its first year, which is just insane to me.
That's crazy. Wow.
In 2022, Universal Japan hosted 12.3 million visitors, making it the third most visited theme park in the world behind Magic Kingdom and Disneyland.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's the most visited theme park in Asia, which is wild because also Tokyo Disney is there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that's just actually insane to me. What's also wild is that a group called Osaka Universal Planning Incorporated was established in 1992. So the park was anticipated to open probably earlier, but it took almost a whole decade for the park to even open after that planning group was formed, which is just insane to me.
Wow, yeah. Nice.
And then in 2011, the second Universal Park opened in Asia, Universal Studios Singapore. The park was so anticipated that it saw over 2 million guests in just 9 months of being open.
Wow.
And the newest park for now is also in Asia, with the opening of Universal Studios Beijing on September 20th, 2001. That's not true. When did it open? I put 2001. It's not 2001. It's 2021. That's when it opened.
Typo. That's okay. That's okay.
I was like 2001. That's also out of order.
Like,
2021 is when it opened.
Mhm.
So that's what I was saying. It's just like a weird thing where I feel like all of these parks, maybe it's the pandemic that is just like
Oh, yeah.
warped my sense of time. But like 2021, like that wasn't that long ago.
No.
That was
Not at
after
all.
the pandemic when it opened. Like that's just so strange to me.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy.
One thing that really stands out about Universal Studios Beijing over other parks in, I guess, all of Universal, but like mostly in Asia, is that it's opening in phases. So I think it's going to be similar to Universal Orlando Resort, where there's like a Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure, blah, blah, blah. Their second phase, which is going to be a second park, is actually going to be a theme park with Chinese elements, and will introduce Chinese culture and IPs such as the Monkey King. So I think that that's really cool.
So cool.
So it's going to be more focused on like Chinese culture
Mhm.
and less movies. I think they said about like 1/3 of the park will be dedicated for like Chinese culture.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah, I'm really excited for that to like open and come out. And then the third park is going to be a water park. So
Meh.
Volcano Bay, Beijing.
Very interesting to see what that's like.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so it sounds like there's a lot going on in the Universal future with Epic
Yes.
Universe and then this whole like next
Mhm.
phase of Universal Beijing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's history class for the day.
I love it.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Yeah, I love hearing how popular Universal is in like the Asian countries.
Mhm.
That's so cool. I mean, it's popular here, of course, right? But like, I feel like people think of Disney when they think of California. You know, you think of
Or just
Disney.
like America in general.
Yeah.
Like Walt Disney World is
Mhm.
very, or Walt Disney
Owns us.
Studios, I guess, whatever. It's like it's very like American, like it's a very
Mhm.
Americana
Mhm.
thing, and I feel like that is like probably something huge to do with it, you know. But I
Mhm.
also feel like I mean this is what happened with Tokyo Disney, right? Like they open up these other companies to build overseas that are not solely being provided by the studio, right? Like
Sure.
here in America, like Universal owns Universal,
Yes.
Disney owns Disneyland, Disney World, whereas in like places like Japan or Singapore, they open companies that are with private companies
Right.
that can like help fund all of this stuff,
Mhm.
which obviously is like a better way to do things because those parks are so much better than ours.
Yeah.
They're really cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Way to go, Universal.
Yeah.
Climbing that ladder. Giving us cool stuff.
Universal is opening 2 more parks and destinations in the United States, which is pretty crazy.
Right. Where's the other one? Texas and
Isn't it Vegas?
And a year-round Halloween Horror Nights experience in Vegas.
so cool.
So Universal, they're popping off.
They
I
are.
know. And I can't wait for D23 this weekend to hear all of the things we might do at Disney
Yeah.
in the next 50 years.
But yeah, it is going to be interesting. We'll have a lot in the theme park news minute next month.
Yeah, maybe.
Might not be ever happen, but we could talk.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks, Kurt, for that. That was really fun.
Really cool.
Now I will be talking this month about the history of Halloween Horror Nights because at least in Orlando, Halloween Horror Nights has become one of the main draws of visiting Universal. It is the premier Halloween event. If you haven't been, it is absolutely mind-blowing. It's something that I can't even put into words, truthfully, how crazy Halloween Horror Nights is. But it has become a phenomenon for 32 years now. And
That's
it's
insane.
a very
Wow.
of the Universal experience. So I thought it was really important to talk about today. So, fun fact, Halloween Horror Nights actually started in Universal Hollywood, which not surprising really because Hollywood did come first. But Hollywood featured an event titled Halloween Horror Nights in 1986, bearing a little resemblance to, of course, what it is now. In 1986, it was more of a haunted tram tour. So Universal Hollywood today does have the Terror Tram. As Kurt was mentioning, their studio tour, they turn it into a fun Halloween haunted event during their Halloween Horror Nights. So that's what it started out to be. But unfortunately, there was a tragic death during that event in 86. So it was discontinued after that.
Oh.
When Universal Studios Florida opened up in 1990, a year later, they started Universal Studios Fright Nights. It was a 3-night event in Universal Studios Florida. As you can see, Beetlejuice is holding the sign. October 25th, 26th, and of course, Halloween night, 1991. It had only one haunted house, the Dungeon of Terror, and a collection of shows. The following year, it was rebranded into Halloween Horror Nights that we know today and advertised as the second annual event. The second year had 2 haunted houses, and then since then, of course, it has evolved to what we know now, which is a 10-house event in Orlando. Also in 1992, Halloween Horror Nights was relaunched in Hollywood as a direct result of the success that it saw in Orlando as Fright Nights, but once again was unsuccessful and discontinued for a second time in Hollywood. So Hollywood wasn't really having a good run. They didn't really like horror out there. And then they tried a third time in 1997, and that ran through 2000. From 2001 to 2005, Halloween Horror Nights went on another hiatus at Universal Studios Hollywood, and it returned in 2006 and has continued yearly since then. So they had some problems with their Halloween Horror Nights event, but since 2006, they've been going strong, and they have a really awesome event. We went to Halloween Horror Nights in Hollywood in 2022 and loved it. They have 8 houses out there. It's a lot of fun. The horror tram tour, phenomenal.
I'm so jealous. I want to do
that. Imagine HHN being 3 nights.
No.
Could you imagine how big it is now?
No. It's crazy what they did with Halloween Horror Nights. So another fun fact, in 2002 and 2003, Halloween Horror Nights took place in Islands of Adventure, which if you've been to Universal and Halloween Horror Nights is super interesting that they did it over here. In 2004, they used both parks, and in 2006, it returned back to Universal Studios Florida. I think having it in Islands would be cool because there's a lot of places to hide. Probably be like pretty scary.
Yeah.
But Islands is very hard to walk.
Yeah.
Universal is probably a better, location for all the houses. Got the back lots where the houses are, but I don't know. I would have liked to experience it over at Islands of Adventure.
Imagine a Halloween Horror Nights in like Seuss Landing.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, would it have to be themed for like each, which I'd be down for, like thing 1 and thing 2,
right? Or like imagine like Dr. Seuss If I Ran a Zoo, like haunted animals or something.
That would be, yeah. Or the Cat in the Hat ride.
Yeah. Wild.
That would be crazy.
I know. I wonder, because Seuss Landing has been there since Islands opened in 99. So they had to, and it's the first land, right? When you go to the right. So I wonder what they did for Halloween Horror Nights there. I didn't see any, probably not.
Yeah. Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, you get chased by dinosaurs that actually try and kill you. Terrifying.
Yeah, you get chased by Kong.
Bring it back. Now.
Yeah. So in 2006, when it returned to Universal Studios, it had 7 houses. And of course, has been in that park since then. In 2011, Universal Studios Singapore began the Halloween Horror Nights event, and they had one haunted house that year and ran for 7 nights. In 2012, Universal Studios Japan joined the Halloween Horror Nights franchise, and in 2018, Orlando expanded to their record of 10 houses. That is what is there today. In 2020, Universal, of course, with the pandemic, they still actually had some form of Halloween Horror Nights event. Nick, you could probably talk about this if you were down in the parks then.
I just remember it was interesting. Like, I remember there being Halloween Horror Night stuff like up all day in the pandemic. Like, it was very weird. That's all I remember. It was weird.
They still did the tribute store too, didn't they?
Yeah, there was a tribute store. Yeah. And I mean, that was cool because it wasn't crowded and it was really nice to go and check that out. But yeah, I just remember it being very strange. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Halloween Horror Nights, at least now, and in 2020, they work year round. So once it's over, now it's over in November, they start right away thinking of new houses, original ideas, IPs. They start their work. So in 2020, of course, they had all of their work done, or at least half of their work done by March, the time, And so they put up 2 houses that you could walk through during the day.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't need a separate ticket. Super interesting. And that was definitely a year that's going to be a huge part of Halloween Horror Nights history because they didn't have a real full event. They didn't have a separate event. And
yeah, that I remember I didn't go through the houses because I was worried about how they would social distance. And people, they did great, apparently. Apparently it was amazing.
They had plexiglass.
Yeah.
Actors. I do remember that. So
I wish I would have gone.
Different HHN experience for sure. And in 2024, now I think this is so cool. I just saw this the other day. This year, Universal Studios Japan will have a special event. It's called Halloween Horror Nights all night, and it will run from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Oh, that's cool.
God.
Could you imagine? First, I go to bed at 10 p.m. So like that's my time. But I think that's really cool because Florida ends at what, 1, 2 o'clock?
Yeah.
But all night, wild.
I'd be delirious. It'd be scarier because I'd be so delirious.
So that's the poster for the event. But I think that's really cool. And I wonder if Florida would ever do something like that.
For $1,000 a person, yes.
Yeah. Well, this all-night event is only on 2 nights, Friday, October 18th and Saturday, October 19th. And then they have, of course, the regular Halloween Horror Nights event.
It's interesting that they don't do it on Halloween.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then Universal Studios Florida this year will have a brand new premium Scream Night, which is the first of its kind, separately ticketed event. Well, so is Halloween Horror Nights, but it's the night before Halloween Horror Nights officially begins. And it'll be limited capacity, you'll be able to go through the houses, and you get unlimited food.
I can't wait for that.
We have a lot of...
If you're there, we will be at that event, so make sure you say hi.
Yes.
Don't say anything if you see me hiding behind a trash can crying.
You're going to be good.
It'll be fine.
You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
I'm looking to see if it's sold out because I looked a couple weeks ago and it was still, you could still buy tickets. It's not sold out yet?
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, so I don't know how really limited this capacity is, but
gosh, if it's not sold out, I wonder if it's going to be like really limited because it's not even to capacity yet. I mean, the price for the tickets were pretty steep for it. So I feel like, what's a normal ticket? Like $86, $90 for?
Yes, but I think it's a lot of locals buy the frequent fear pass, and $350 is the price of their frequent fear pass. So
okay.
Why would I go one night when I can go
3
every single night?
Mm-hmm.
I wait one more night, and I could go every night for from September to beginning of November.
Sure.
So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be quite the experience. This is a year in HHN history for sure.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Me too.
And that's my HHN history. I think it's like super cool. Fright Nights, how it started and how big Halloween Horror Nights is now. Opening night is madness. It always sells out. It's like 30,000 people that go. And it's so popular. So, and it starts just 2 nights, one haunted house.
It's like got its own heartbeat now. Like I almost separate it from Universal because I mean, like when I lived there, I had a group of friends. They loved HHN. They loved Universal also, but it was like different. It was like when HHN season was coming, it was like a marathon almost. So I'm excited to see it finally.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait for you guys to experience it. Okay, Nick, you ready?
Let's go. All right. I know I promised this time to leave the United States, and with Universal, that's pretty easy because, like Kurt and Crystal have both mentioned, there are 3 Universal parks that are overseas. I'm only going to cover 2 of them because I think covering all 3 of them, this episode would probably be way too long. And I think Beijing deserves its own section. I think it's a really unique park when it comes to the 3 that are not in the, they're all very cool and unique, but Beijing it deserves a little extra time. So we're going to cover Universal Studios Japan and Universal Studios Singapore. And I'm going to start with Universal Studios Japan. So we've heard a little bit of history about it. It is located in Osaka. And as Kurt said, it is one of the most visited theme parks in Asia. And it is bigger than it's bigger than Universal Studios Singapore. So it is one of the larger ones. This is where Super Nintendo World debuted and where Donkey Kong Country will also debut, which was really exciting. It was huge for Universal. We've been to Super Nintendo World in Hollywood, and truly it is spectacular. I would have loved to see the extra things they have in Japan. So in Universal Studios Hollywood, they only have like the main land and the Mario Kart ride. In Universal Studios Japan, they have the Yoshi Omnimover style type ride, which was what I was most excited for. Super cute. You get to ride like in the back of a Yoshi and see the entire Mushroom Kingdom. And then also we're getting Donkey Kong Country and Epic Universe in Florida, but it will debut in Japan, which will be a whole brand new land with a brand new roller coaster, which has like braking technology, I mean, it might be braking, but like incredible technology, and super excited for that. They also have a Wizarding World land there, which is very similar to, they're all pretty similar across the Universal parks, the Wizarding World, at least the main like Hogsmeade land. They're all pretty similar. There's a Minion Park there. They have a Jurassic Park little land. They also have Amity Village, which Kurt brought up. They have the original Jaws ride still there. So they have that village that you can visit. They also have Hollywood, which in their Hollywood section, they have this really kind of crazy roller coaster called the Hollywood Dream. It's one of the most like thrilling coasters there. There's that guy. They also have, this is what I'm like, why can't we have this? Which, okay, I will say we did just get DreamWorks World, which is very close to this, but this is called Universal Wonderland. And it is this like kind of kid themed land, and it has Hello Kitty themes, Sesame Street, and Peanuts. And you can like meet Snoopy, and it's really cute. It's just
I know this. Cute.
Yeah, I didn't know either. And I pulled up the map and I was like, wait, that looks like Sesame Street, which is interesting because here SeaWorld has Sesame Street. So I wonder what that's about, what licensing, but either way, it's very, very cute. And they also have Waterworld in Universal Japan, which I had to bring up. Some unique things that I really wanted to point out in Universal Japan is I already brought up the Hollywood Dream, which is a roller coaster that goes backward and forward. There are backward and forward options. And it's very similar to Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, where you can choose music during your ride. As I said, Jaws is there. I really want to talk about so in Universal Studios Florida, we have cultural celebrations there, right? Like we have Mardi Gras, we celebrate the holidays there. Universal Japan also does these kind of like seasonal, some of them can be cultural, but some of them are just pop cultural seasonal festivals. And I think that is just absolutely really cool and unique. As a big anime and manga fan, the first one I wanted to bring up is called Universal Cool Japan. And this is their season of anime. It is some of the rides get overlays. There's some 4D. There was a Sailor Moon 4D show a couple years ago. There's themed merchandise. There's
cute,
right.
Oh my
if you go to the
God.
next slide, Crystal, this is the Sailor Moon themed food that they offered there, which like I'm so sad I couldn't go. But every year they do something different. They can do Attack on Titan. They've done a bunch of different animes. Crystal already brought up Universal Japan's Halloween Horror Nights. What I think is cool is their houses are more traditionally Japanese. So it's not just a copy and paste of what we have in the US. It's more for Japanese tradition and what they believe for the Halloween season. So if we go back to that slide with the Pokemon, this is the next seasonal event. It's actually happening right now in Universal Japan. It's called their Universal Summer Festival. And this right here, so cute. It's called the No Limit Summer Splash Parade. And so first of all, during this summer festival, it's really hot in Japan in the summer. So they needed to think of something to cool guests down. So they thought of this season where they can kind of bring in Japanese summer culture into the park. So like the food changes, like you can get kakagori, which is shaved ice. And this parade is actually interactive with water features. So
Absolutely not.
I know, right?
I'm so sorry. Have fun with it. You will not catch me there.
I know. But just here, you're going to want to though, because just listen to this. Okay, so it runs from July 3rd to September 1st. And what happens is there is a splash zone. So you can watch the parade from farther away and not get splashed, even though I don't know how much I believe Universal with our water world experience.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what I love is guests can actually purchase like an interactive water gun that they can play with the parade, and you can shoot at the floats. There's floats, like there's a Mario float, there's a Pokemon float, and like on the Pokemon float, if you're familiar with Pokemon, there's a giant Gyarados that like spits water out of its mouth at you, and like the water type Pokemon will like splash you and get you wet. And I was like, that's so cool. So yeah, there's a Sesame Street one, there's a Despicable Me one. So obviously, you know, the minions are splashing you. There's Hello Kitty, there's Snoopy, super, super, super cute. And yeah, it's about a 40-minute parade. And there's also apparently like specific merchandise and food for this parade. And it's called the Mega Cool Zone, where you can get like, there's a Gyarados themed smoothie there and treats like themed after summer and these characters, which I was like, that is so cool. And it's so smart.
Nobody does theming stuff like Japan.
Seriously, right?
No one.
Because it not only does it cool guests down, it interacts with them. It's so smart. Using water type Pokemon to splash guests, like that's so cool. Yeah, so that is probably one of the coolest things. There are many, many cool things to do in Universal Japan. There's also they do celebrate some Japanese traditional holidays. There might be like food or things during like the New Year, but all in all, amazing park. All three of us have said how much we want to go because of like how cool the theming is.
So bad.
Yeah. But that is Universal Japan. So let's go on over to Singapore. And this is a little bit smaller, and like how Kurt brought up, this Singapore is also owned by a third-party company, and the website was a little bit different to navigate. So if you go check out Universal Singapore, just be advised you might not have the same Universal website experience. But that was fine. We got all the info we needed, and Universal Singapore is really cool. So there's lands like Sci-Fi City, Ancient Egypt, my personal favorite, which is Far, Far Away, which is literally from Shrek, like the Far, Far Away land.
That's so cool.
The Lost World, they have Hollywood, and their New York area is kind of like their Minions area also. Some unique things, like this is crazy that this exists in the world. And when I found out that it did, I almost screamed. There's a Battlestar Galactica coaster.
This in your notes, and I was like, "What? How did I not know this was a thing?"
Same. I was like, my sci-fi nerdy self feels so like I'm bad. I haven't done a good enough job to know that there's this roller coaster. So it is a dueling coaster.
Cool.
We had a dueling coaster in Orlando, and it no longer is here. Dueling Dragons, RIP. But yeah, sorry. Yes, so it's a dueling coaster, and then there are also other unique features. Like there's a Puss in Boots ride in the Far, Far Away land. There's a Gingy meet and greet in Far, Far Away where you can meet little gingerbread guy. Gingy. I'm flying there today.
Oh, I love that.
There's a special Steven Spielberg show where it kind of gives you behind the scenes and look into movie magic. And there's also cultural things that happen at Universal Singapore with decorations. There's lion dance performances, traditional music, and some seasonal food offerings also with local holidays and local artists. But that is Universal Singapore. It is a lot smaller. I would say probably for me personally, the Far, Far Away land was the most like attractive thing. Their sci-fi land was just kind of like Transformers. We're used to that. Ancient Egypt that had Revenge of the Mummy. We're used to that. And the Lost World is obviously it's Jurassic Park. It's the same Jurassic Park boat ride that we know. The Waterworld show is also in the Jurassic Park area. Yeah, but it's a lot of what we know with some really cool little unique parts.
Super cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. And like I said, there's also Universal Beijing, which deserves its own. I think we need to take time and dive into Universal Beijing because we're seeing a lot of that technology come to Epic Universe. And I think it would be cool to do a comparison of maybe what's coming to the US. So
Definitely.
Nice. I'm really excited to see a Super Nintendo world that is not the size of someone's backyard.
Yeah. It did feel really small. Super immersive, but when you see pictures of it, especially if you look at pictures of Universal Japan, you're like, this is massive. And then you go to Universal Hollywood and you're like, where is everything? Like, yeah. So same.
Yeah, I'm excited to like be able to like, I don't know, just even in like Universal Japan, like it sounds like how you said, like they're making like another land in the land. Like that's just insane to me. And I would love to go there and experience that.
Yeah.
I think we need to take a trip.
We have to.
I'm down.
We have to go. Especially for like, I mean, I'm not super huge on how hot and humid I've heard it can be in Japan in the summer, but to see the summer parade, like that's so cool.
Just like seeing Pokemon in the park alone 100%. Is worth it.
Yeah, which I've definitely seen like Pokemon meet and greets there. Like I've seen that and it's just so cool.
Maybe one day.
Maybe, I don't know. There are rumors that apparently we might get Pokemon and Zelda in our parks here, but who knows what we're actually going to get. So
who knows?
Yeah.
Well, I thought this was a really fun episode. I love Universal so much. So hearing about all the different parks and some history. It was really fun for me, and I hope you all enjoyed it. And thanks for joining. Be sure to give the stream a like if you haven't already. Thanks everyone for being here. Geezer Golf, Piano, Peter, you guys are the best. And if you're Ninja watching, we appreciate you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted to say, Crystal, I would say when Theme Park Today started, I felt like I was more of a Disney girly, but slowly, I am morphing into Universal girly and standing so
I
hard.
feel like that is the work of the Crystal Palace.
It is. It's all Crystal. So, Crystal, thank you, Universal Queen.
Yes.
I also have been drinking tea this entire episode because I would like Crystal to plug her podcast.
Oh my gosh. Tea with KP. If you want to hear some more fun of we just did an episode on New York. So if you're interested in hearing about what New York has to offer, that's going to be the next episode on Thursday. Thanks, Kurt.
Yay, Tea with KP. Go watch and follow and like.
Yeah. We'll all be together very soon, so we'll have a lot of fun coming.
Yes, by the next stream.
Our next stream, September 3rd, mark your calendars, will be the Tuesday after we get back from Universal Orlando. So we will have a lot to say.
So much. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Thank you, Penelope. Sorry I didn't say hi to you. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, what a great stream. Universal, so cool. And I cannot wait to see you guys in like a couple weeks. So,
yay.
Woo! All right. Thanks for watching.
watching.
See you in the next one.
Bye.